rising of the undying emperor and the great planar war that shook the heavens, there was an age of contradiction, where cannons won kingdoms and muskets kept the peace. A brave few won the hearts of the conquered and conquerors alike. Of these we speak of the decline of the great kingdoms and cultures under the heel of empire. Of those we speak of gladiators and the untold thousands that worshipped them.
Of this, an age of glory.
Where kings would be slaves and a gladiator would be king.
Oh, and we know how much the Imperium loves their kings. Oh, we have spreadsheets. Greetings and welcome to Die Dragon Die presents the Dread and Circus campaign, Season 3, Episode 1. I'm your DM and host, Marty, joined by Adam, Mark, and Ahmed. The entire group is here. Let me refresh the widget so we get the stream chat going. No, let's reconnect. Reconnect. Why is this doing this now? There we go. And let's unmute their faces.
I thought best would be on your...
Oh, they're still having their pregame chit-chat, but welcome, guys.
You need cleave.
Hello.
Yeah, you can take cleaving finish.
Yep.
Hello.
Sounds like they're talking about builds right now.
Power attack, cleaving finish.
Yeah, we're at cleaving. We're at cleave right now. Hello. Welcome.
Hello. How are you doing? It's nice.
Do you guys know there's a feat called Craft Ooze? That is so awesome. It's like you're breeding something in the back of your fridge. I wonder what it's going to be now. Mr. Canada is going to be a bit a bit there too. Oh, this is the fisher guy. This is the fisherman that we rolled up. I have no idea what you're petting.
I am petting a dog.
Okay.
El Doggo.
Okay. It is a rarely viewed angle of dogs.
Or is it?
El Doggo.
Hey.
Oh, it's a good little puppy.
It's not little.
Look, it's this big.
How's everyone doing? We played what? We played on Thursday. We did sort of a planning session. We planned out the first couple of weeks for both Ludi and went through some random gladiator generation. We handled the bets. We highlighted some of the leveling up. Adam's characters weren't leveled up at that point, so we don't know what powers they have in store. And this is the beginning of the third season. This campaign is really easy to build. The chapters are built in. Each season will be a season in the games. So we'll see how many games the autumn season takes. I have a feeling it's going to take quite a few, given that there's going to be some adventuring going on, as the Circus of Dread has now rights to plunder the tomb of Duke Caramel.
Hello.
Hey, Mark.
I can hear you.
You doing your sound check?
No.
Are you good, Mark? You good?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So why don't we do a recap? I didn't do a type up for the planning session, but we can do the one-line recap of game 23.
Sounds like he has Tourette's, just random.
The summer season end games come to a close. The newcomers are poised to become the champions. Vogul demands answers from Ashoka. Magnus brushes up with the divine during a near-death experience. Others in the arena take notice, and Magnus and Cella are arrested by agents of the Imperial Church by the command of Archbishop of Vaddapol. and the Circus of Dread is now like awash with money and fame, as the newcomers came in and deposed the old newcomers. And there is that Arlen?
Yeah, he's playing with gold.
just all the power just goes right
Hey,
to his
man,
head.
His god said, "Live it up."
So why don't we go to the ludus sheet where we did some planning and fill in some of the gaps for Ashoka and 6 and a few others that we didn't quite get to, and then we'll start executing the game.
Sounds wild.
We will run the subroutines. All right. We assumed that there was an RP encounter that Ashoka wanted to do with Magnus of some sort, dealing with the Magnus situation. Do you want to be a little more specific?
I would like to deal with the Magnus situation.
Okay, you're gonna go visit somebody about a thing.
Well, all right. What information did we What did Sid come back with?
He hasn't yet.
Haven't yet. So first week, Sid is training.
So Sid didn't follow Magnus.
Wait. No, he did. Hold on. Which one is the week that?
In my brain, we got the freeze frame or
Yep. So you could do espionage,
first.
and your fast training in the next one. Yeah, we could flip that around. Ashoka, you're doing fast training. We already subtracted the money from the ludus, which means you're training in one block of time. You're doing that first in the first week? Question mark.
I'm wondering what's happening in the first hour after Magnus got captured.
Got it.
Yeah.
I
hear you.
We had a whole bunch of. I understand we want to go into the turns, but what happened in the first hour after Magnus got captured? Because Sid went off and was like, "Yeah, Sid, you go. Yeah, bad friend, you figure out what's going on." Bad friend didn't come back again.
Bad friend really sucks.
Fine. We will do what happens him first. We've tentatively put you in fast training and then visiting the market for new gladiators. The Conclave came to the conclusion they need one more gladiator, and they're looking for a veteran or heroic gladiator somewhere in there.
All right, cool.
All right, and then Zedd, we're going to fast train and then espionage, depending on how things go.
Yep.
And then some of you got your asses beat, so you do need medical time to heal up, and just to sort of rejuvenate the bruises and bumps. Sona for that week is being trained. Fleas is being entertained. Czargon's AWOL. Scarab is doing fast training. Wizard Ling has got some. What is M? Is getting some medical attention. Same with Vigo, because you guys trained these guys really hard at the end of last season. And then a few of your other gladiators are idle. There is a conversation that needs to be had between Ashoka and Zedd, because Zedd is going to be named one of the normal gladiators now.
Yeah. That's interesting, that.
And they kept Nova out of it, even though Quailsy is being called up, I think, as a gladiator. Is that correct?
We compared it to, what's the guy, the cab driver in Deadpool? He's like, what the fuck? And he got passed up.
So Zedd is the replacement replacement champion of the house, while Czargon and Magnus are AWOL, or not around. Hey Gus, how's it going? Are you the same person who's finally catching one of your streams? Yeah, cool. Are you also on YouTube watching episode 7 or 8? Are you the person that I've been chatting with in comments? I'm guessing yes. Cool. It's really fun to hear you talk about Undwin critting the alligator and how political the campaign looks like it's going to become. I'm like, oh yeah, and then your opinions on Prentice Pennywise. I'm like, oh yeah. So welcome Gus. Good to have you here. Glad you're enjoying it.
I'm Ahmed. Hello.
I think after watching 8 games, he knows who you are.
That's his name. Not good. I roll ones all the time, like Mark.
All right, so there's some planning that may change based off of what Sid learns at the church. Going to the circus, we have there are a bunch of you that are still traveling, like we're kind of catching up to where they were traveling north. Radimer is training. Damian is fast training, so in Vaddapol, Damian's fast training. Ugg is fast training. You're paying out of pocket for fast train for Ugg and Sam. Edward is fast training, and Beric Tarn leveled twice, so he's actually got 2 blocks of fast training. You're basically paying, instead of teleporting back to your ludus, which is at Fallen Stone right now, your ludus on wheels.
Where they love us. That's where they love
That's
us.
right. The ludus on wheels. No, it's the next city up. It's I think they traveled down to Fallen Stone. I don't think they stayed in the city where you beat.
Where were the place with basically the Nessie?
Fish.
Yeah, I don't think they stayed there. I think they probably traveled.
welcome.
Yeah, exactly. We'll jump to the map probably in a minute. Arlen is fast training and then spending some time doing medical stuff, and then
Arlen wants to chat with Ugg at some point because that has to happen soon.
Okay, so you want me to put or RP encounter? Well, I've got market and then a whole bunch of RP encounters.
There's a lot of things that Arlen has to do.
Okay. Are there anything specific that Sam or Ashoka want to do? Like, what are you making 6 do in that first block, or is it still you're just waiting for what?
Well, no. We need to things. Insert stuff now. Oh my god, we've got some we have information that we need to collect.
Lucas,
Healing.
how's it going?
6. We're going to actually have 6 try to spy specifically on the new ludus, so the circus. We
Nice.
need information about the circus.
Spy on the circus. Nice. Who the fuck are these upstarts? they're us from last season.
That didn't go as fucking planned.
Who are these cheaty
Which
magoos?
one of them has the coke addiction? I'm
Right.
the one who snorts the coke.
Yep.
Hey Ashoka, we want to make a deal before the fight. It's like, how much do you want to pay me? It's like, you don't understand the you don't understand the conversation.
Okay,
Right, do you?
as Magnus is being dragged away in chains by church guards and inquisitors of the Five-Faced God, Sid is trying to follow. Give me a what is your stealth?
Base stealth for Sid.
Yeah.
It's like a lot. Yeah, I'm
You're
giving you a
based
number.
stealth over a long period of time, so not with
Ahmed and I just assumed that Ashoka would want to keep her as leverage over Zdd.
Yes, no, for sure. If the plan is to make
51.
he's 10th level, so all of his skill feats just doubled.
That's with a mutagen. Hold on, that's with mutagen. So take 2 off. 49. 49 without the mutagen.
Mark's video is not synced with his audio. It's really weird.
No, it's completely fucked up. That's why it sounds like he's got Tourette's when he like talks or whatever.
Hey, he's talking now. 1 Mippipippy, 2 Mippipippy, 3 Mippipippy. Or is that from before? I'm so confused. Right. You may need to flush your tubes, Mark. All right, so give me a 3 stealth checks. 1 represents your ability to follow them without being spotted.
53. Or sorry, 52. 53, yeah, 53.
Yeah, you make it. All right, so Sid is following Magnus and these inquisitors, and
64 on another one.
okay.
Yeah. We understand. We
I'm
got
rolling
it.
it!
At 54, okay. Well, you know when to just walk everyone through while I'm finding your tokens, how the hell that is so high?
It's why he gets mushed in combat.
10. Actually, no, he's very, very survivable now. He's very survivable. 10 from the.
Hey guys.
10 from ranks, 3 from class, 4 from ability. That's 17. Then you've got 8 chameleon, 1 from a trait, from being what's it called, ratfolk or not batkin or something like that. Then 6 from skill focus, 5 from a cloak.
Oh right, level 10. Your skill focus jumped to plus 6.
Yeah, and chameleon went up. And then I have as a tiny bat, I have plus 8 from being tiny and plus 2 dex. So that all adds up.
It does. I'm trying to find Chella. Do you see Chella's token anywhere? Where is she at? On the Vaddapol map. Because she is.
Apparently,
Oh, there she is.
Never actually got into anything where he was threatened with hit points because I didn't roll my dive from level 10.
And then Sid is hiding out at the Tower of the Sage, and all right. So your first stealth check, you are able to follow them without being detected. It's pretty easy as they're passing through the busy streets. They load up from the veins underneath the civic arena. They load Magnus up into a prison cart. It's like a covered and barred wagon. Solid wood all around. There are small slats with bars on them. Both Chella and Magnus, their chains around their arms are kind of looped through a big chain in the floor of the wagon. At this point in time, they've been loaded up, and there are hoods over their heads, kind of like black bags over their heads that are blocking not only their sight but perhaps disguising who these prisoners are. 2 soldiers with religious insignias hop into the back of the wagon with Magnus and Chella, where 2 others are driving. One of them has basically one's riding musket beside the actual driver of the wagon, and then 2 more guards just hold on to the back of the wagon as a team of 6 draft horses, slick black, with some livery, with some what do you call it? The cloth that horse wear. It's not barding. There's some heraldic devices on horse tunics or whatever they're called.
Yeah.
It's clearly like the emblems of the Towers of Faith, and perhaps one of them is holding. The driver has kind of sitting beside him what looks like a scroll with a seal on it. It looks really important because the seal is kind of golden. And they make no pause, and they begin riding quickly through the streets, and they're heading in the direction of the Towers of Faith. How are you following the wagon? Are you just flying behind it, or are you actually trying to get inside of it, or?
You said there's a whole bunch of holes, right?
Yeah, you could fly inside, but there are 2 guards inside.
Yeah, I can nestle myself one of the holes.
Okay.
Tiny.
All right, so you kind of latch onto the side of the wagon, and you go for a nice ride throughout the city streets. It's a little bit slower going as they make up their way up the rise, and they're on the upper plateau of Vaddapol, and the wagon clearly is going to the Towers of Faith. The guards give the right signals, and one of the very large doors opens up, allowing the wagon to go right into the Towers of Faith, into the courtyard. You can hear the singing, like the echoing singing of some sort of mass going on, and maybe a couple of bells for different times of the day. And they pull up to a particular tower. It is the southernmost tower, the one that faces the sea. And there are guards there that step forward. The scroll tube with the gold seal on it is presented to a guard with a big plumed hat. He takes it and starts barking orders in Imperial Common to take the prisoners below.
See where they go.
Your second skill check was you flying inside of the sea tower.
64.
And kind of keeping up with them. and you see that Magnus is brought into a chamber where even more chains and things are fitted on them. Is Magnus...
Him or both of them?
Both of them. In particular, they're worried about Magnus and his strength. There are some comments about that. The really kind of sweaty-looking prison master down here, he's got no religious accoutrements on him. It looks like he lives, like, I think you're below ground at this point in time. It's kind of sweaty and warm down here. It's dirty. And he says, "Don't worry, we've got the right tools for the job. This one here for confession?" "No, he's to be held." "All right. You don't want this one you don't want either of them softened up for confession?" "No. These are orders of the Archbishop to keep them safe and secure." "Very well. He'll come around now. Always in need of a good..." The guy kind of like pinches Magnus's skin. "My services are always required. Eventually, you'll say something that they don't like, or needing to say something. Either way." Magnus, you have this very bad feeling that you're going to a very bad place.
It's all right.
You get the sense that you're being brought deep within the tower. You can hear the ocean kind of cracking off, like washing up against the rocks. It's just kind of like the sound is everywhere. It's sort of muted, but you do hear kind of like a roar occasionally. You are put into a cell. Zdd sees that the cell is actually quite spacious. And it is not the same cell that Chella is put into. They take Chella into a different area altogether. But you get the sense from some coughing and maybe somebody writing that there may be people like nearby. They chain you to something in the middle. They chain Magnus to a loop in the middle of the cell. It sort of allows Magnus to kind of like...
Does he still have his hood on? Or?
He still has his hood on. You've got manacles around your arms that are looping to they're also probably chains that are around your neck, like a collar, and your manacles around your arms are going into a loop at the center of the room. The guards, one of them makes a comment. "Oh, the mighty have fallen. Don't worry, we'll whip some religion into them."
Magnus doesn't say a word.
Yep.
Since he's been put in cuffs, he hasn't said a single word.
So did Zdd follow Magnus or follow Chella?
He couldn't care less about Chella.
Okay.
He was checking up on where Magnus is. And
I'm going to send Ahmed a note.
Okay.
You actually see a cell beside Magnus, and the cell is full of furniture, and you can see a guy that you know writing at a desk. And it looks like there's a guard standing at the door to the cell, but the guard has got his back to the cell. Like, it's really weird. There's like a bed and a desk, and it looks like a fine meal had been half eaten. And there's a man there writing, and the name of the man is...
Santa Claus.
Mr. Claus.
Mr. Claus does not approve of naughty children.
I'm sending out Ahmed notes so that he can roleplay it without...
Bat just goes double take like squawk.
At this point, you hear the guards leaving. Although Magnus, you do hear like, is that somebody writing something? Like the scritching of a quill pen on paper.
Okay, can I take the hood off?
Yeah. Magnus pulls the hood off, and Magnus can't. You see your cage. Your cage is pretty empty. There's a slight grade to the square room that you're in that goes down into the center. There's this big iron ring that has been sort of embedded into the stone where your chains are looped through, where your chains are connected. You'd basically be able to get almost all the way to the edges of your cell. 3 sides of your cell have bars. The back part of the cell is actually like stonework. And the grade does lead to a bit of a hole for your excrement and water or piss or whatever. It's kind of dirty. You can see the furniture in the next room. Like there is some space separating the 2 cells, and the guard kind of like coughs a little bit, so you know that you're not alone.
Magnus is looking at the quality of the locks on his manacles. Just looking like.
Okay. The manacles that you have are.
You want me to give you a roll?
Give me a disabled device or a.
Appraise?
An appraise, yep.
Give me a disabled device. Uh, 28.
They are masterwork quality manacles.
Without it'd be impossible without tools, right?
I think it's a -2 without tools.
I believe it's a -2 per. Like it might be -4. That might be the healing skill. I might be getting my systems confused.
Magnus is already like thinking like, okay, if I need to get out of here, how long would this take to break this? To break this, not to break, but to unlock this, to unlock that.
Masterwork manacles are escape artist check DC 35, a strength check of DC 28. And then the key and the lock on the manacles is a good lock.
Do I know what the DC
tools
is?
is a -2. No tools. You need something.
A good lock is DC 30.
Okay, so Magnus could get out of this, and how long does it take to disable a device?
A round.
So Magnus just needs to get something that looks like a tool. He'll start looking around for that.
Okay. Give me a perception check as you're now searching around your cage for like the hope that somebody had.
Looking around like, what else is here? Perception.
Okay. Magnus can hear someone far off, kind of as the guards are leaving and doors are opening and closing. You actually hear someone being tortured or is in great pain.
Marty, I believe the term is purified.
Oh, sorry, it's 14, so 27.
Could be purified. Yeah, they're getting their religion.
He's being converted.
Magnus is. What did you get for your spot? 14. 27.
I didn't. I put a 1 instead of 13 or 14.
If I roll a 1, there is something. Something that it can be used as a tool that somebody either fashioned or like your previous occupant. Nope, 94. All right. No soup for you.
Let's let's get comfortable. Yeah, who's over there?
Hmm?
Who the hell is sitting there? Who's writing there? Who are you?
Magnus? Is that
Why
you?
do you have...
Oh, it is you. Oh my.
What the hell are you doing here?
You haven't been replaced too, have you?
No, I almost died. And then Charla, she tried to bring me back, but there was something wrong, something very wrong, and it took a long time for me to get back, and they didn't like that.
You notice a much more disheveled looking Commissioner Dmitri Vaaska is in a well lived in area. He pops his head up and he walks right over. He has got no chains on. No signs of him being a prisoner.
Why are you here?
Oh, It's a long story, really.
How long has he been here? Does it look like
For some time.
like a month?
Maybe,
Or
yeah.
Days.
Month?
Huh?
Sid's listening to this. It's like, wait, we saw you. Wait, we saw you. We met with you not too long ago.
Have they done the test on you yet?
What test?
Oh, the Inquisitors have a test. You shouldn't be bothered by it. It's a bit of a poke. I'm not used to, metal piercing my skin, but, he looks nervous.
Every second day. Wait, what's going on? What are they doing here? What are they gonna do?
There's a bastard out there that is an imposter, is what he says.
To you?
He tried to kill me, Magnus. Me, the Commissioner.
Who tried to kill you?
The imposter did.
And he looks exactly like you.
Well, they're shape changes. They've come from Cantoport.
Then why are you here?
Well, part of their ritual, as I understand it, when they really want to replace someone, is they try to kill them.
So why don't you go and get rid of them? You have the guards here.
Well, the priests are, and the Inquisitors are, the bastards out there are probably spending all of my money.
I don't understand. Why don't you tell the guards and why don't they just go and get rid of them?
The Inquisitors are handling this matter. Apparently they're playing some sort of cat-and-mouse game with my livelihood.
Well, obviously they're aware of your situation, but what the hell's happening to me? Why why? I didn't do it. I died. What the hell?
No one tells me anything.
So what are
I've
they
got a
doing
stack
now?
of letters out there that need to go out, but they're not letting me. I came here for protection.
That sucks. You could have come to Magnus. Magnus would have protected you.
Well, the Inquisitors
That's
are saying
me.
that this is a
But not
low,
now, obviously.
a small ranking doppel shifter, and his they're trying to find the real culprit or the real master. These things are insidious.
Wait a minute. How can you tell that something is like this gangster doppler? We
It's
ran into these things before. We destroyed them, though.
I would, if you get out of your current predicament, I would try to learn how the Inquisitors run their test and test every one of your men and masters. They could become anyone. But I understand that for long term, they need to eat you. They need to consume that which they become.
What the hell did they eat from you?
Oh, and he pulls kind of up his shirt. You got a nasty bite here.
That's fucked up.
Oh, well, yes, I learned a few things from watching you gladiators, and, well, it got into, he was pretending to be one of my slaves. Could you imagine that? A creature pretending to be a halfling slave to get close to me? It could be anyone.
And then it bit you.
Well, yes, there was an attack. It was quite bloody.
And then it came back later?
Well, yes, I managed to fight it off, or we managed to fight it off, and well, I came here for healing, and then I know that the church does offer protection. And I've been down here for a month.
So why don't they kill him?
I don't know. The Inquisitors are handling it.
Sid's very intrigued now. Let's go see what these Inquisitors are doing. He's gonna go look for where an office of somebody that would give orders around here regarding the Inquisitors.
Am I misremembering? But I thought Dmitri was in the stands.
He was.
You'd think those Inquisitors should be like inquisiting.
That's what Sid's thinking. Like,
Motherfuckers.
We'll just let him sit up there with the Duke.
So
You need those glasses from the old movie. Oh, what was that movie called? They Live? They Live.
yeah.
Maybe they think the dupe's doppelganger. Shadowganger.
That's a good movie.
Yeah. Apparently they weren't concerned. They're more concerned about what these doppelgangers might do. And they might be following it. I don't know, really. I just want to go back to my life.
So Sid's thinking, the Inquisitors knew about a doppelganger, very dangerous, next to the Duke, sitting next to the Duke, so they endangered the Duke. Damian would be able to use this. He's flying around. He's looking for a place that would look like an officer's office, basically.
Okay, you're trying to find who?
Well, did the what's his name? I don't know what they're called. The main guy the main church guy, that was facing in front of Magnus. Did he come with him here? Or
No.
not?
No, the Archbishop did not travel the same way that the prisoners did.
Okay, I'm gonna look for the guy that took the letter, and looking for that gold seal thing where it was placed. I'm gonna read it, and read whatever else the hell is there.
Okay. This now feels like you're into espionage mode.
Yeah.
So we're going to switch to your dice as you are trying to get the letter.
I don't want to use dice. I want to use my fucking skill. And if
You've got 12 dice, and you are trying
if
to.
it looks hairy, Sid is not interested in doing this anymore.
And I'm going to give you advantage because of how good you are at hiding.
Now, what's their defenses like?
Isn't his yeah?
You need 4 successes to read the scroll.
If you spent a turn scoping out the church, you would be able to know what the defenses are, get an idea.
Yep.
I want to see. Yes, I want to know what's going on before I go.
Spend this
in
week
there.
scoping defenses.
Scoping defenses, or are you going after the specific scroll to read it?
Scoping defenses.
Okay. If you got 6 successes, I'd let you do the scroll as well as scoping defenses.
And I don't know how many dice they have.
I just told you 6
You're
successes.
trying to learn their defenses.
Okay, let's do it. Okay. Okay.
Roll.
6s.
12. You get 12 dice.
12d6. 1, 2, 3. I don't know how many you have. That's a pretty good roll, though.
Yep.
I am Bubblegum Man.
No, not the strawberry.
Don't give him juicy fruit. Never juicy fruit.
Marty, what's their roll? Or do you?
I just need to know your successes. You have advantage.
Successes. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 6s. 1, 2, 3 5s. But they could roll more 6s.
This is just a static thing. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You've got 10 successes.
Yeah.
Okay. So Sid knows that you're gonna have to get through a lot of doors and locks to get down here. There's probably 3 layers of defense and a lot of locked doors. This is a different part of the prison. Like, this seems to be like the deepest part that they have. Like political prisoners might be kept in these parts, or important nobles. You know that this isn't the torture area, although Magnus could be brought to a particular room that has a rack and other torture devices on it, or in it. You're looking at probably 40 soldiers and maybe 20 priests that you'd have to hack your way through if you chose the Magnus solution to get out of here.
Done.
Doable. You do find some drains that you would be able to fit through that lead out to the sea. Like, you followed the kind of like the drain system. So if you could make Magnus really small, you might be able to get out that way.
What about the stones? Anything special about the stones?
Give me a spellcraft check, as you do come across weird runes that are etched like perimeters around around the jail area.
Okay. Oh, okay. I was looking at Magnus and like, no spellcraft. Okay, here we go.
Spellcraft or knowledge arcana. I'd even allow knowledge religion.
20.
Nope, there are wards of some sort that are placed around the prison.
Okay. Sid will remember them so he can draw them later and ask someone about them.
You can try to. They are magical, so...
Memorize the Chinese characters that are harder than Chinese characters and write them down later.
Right. Unless you've got some power that allows you to... I know there are some spells and abilities that allow you to lock in text into your mind and that sort of thing. You can get the gist of it and kind of describe it. But you don't you don't know specifically what it does.
About the stones, let's say Magnus's wall. Is there anything special about the wall, stone wall?
Nope.
Okay. Okay.
But you get the sense that around this tower there is like you keep on coming across these runes.
And I'm watching for people walking in and out through them.
Yeah, people just walk over them. They seem to ignore them.
Okay. Sid's wondering there's some kind of symbol or something that or
A lot of the priests do have holy symbols of the five-faced god, or they have tokens of aspect, or just insignias on their. There isn't one unified thing that you're seeing.
Token of aspect. Sid will remember to take one.
Okay.
Maybe that's part of it.
Part of your infiltration, sure. You end up with one of the token of aspects. I can roll randomly, or you can choose which aspect you wanted.
The one they've been giving out everywhere.
The ones that they typically give out towards the gladiators is the token of the conqueror.
Yep, you'll take one.
Okay, so mark it down. You've got a wooden token of the conqueror worth half a silver piece. 1 silver piece.
Okay.
All right, Sid returns. I'm assuming you're returning to report.
Yep.
Okay, Sid. A bat flaps into the room. Gracchus is repairing some of his armor or something. I don't know what he does to maintain.
They wouldn't tell a bat. They wouldn't tell a bat's coming into the room. I'm not telling shit. Sid just goes.
All right.
Not very polite to come in unannounced like that, Sid. Not very polite at all.
What have you found out, Sid?
Well, I know where Magnus is being kept.
What are they doing with him?
Oh, the orders. Sorry. You did have enough successes. You saw the orders. The orders were to they're from the Archbishop, and they were to basically hold the prisoners by his personal order, and hold them, secure them, do not let anyone see them, no harms to come of them. There isn't anything more. They're just basically prisoners of the Archbishop.
Orders of the Archbishop, he said in this letter, in his orders, keep them secured, keep them safe. No one's to see them or know they're there. And he has an interesting neighbor, the Commissioner. You know, Dmitri. He's been there for a month.
Is Sid lying to me?
He says he's been there for
Maybe.
a while, and that he's been replaced by a doppelganger.
He's paused for no reason.
By doppelganger.
They're looking for doppelgangers.
They know that he's been replaced, and the Inquisitors are following him. Shh. and they're trying to see who's the mastermind. There's a mastermind, and they don't know who it is they're following. The Inquisitors, but they endangered the Duke because they put him next to the tomb. Tell Damian. I didn't see where Chella went because fuck her, she's an old bitch. And Magnus is, he's alright. Not to be hurt, not to be bothered, not to be seen.
They put him
Secure.
on the rack yet?
It doesn't seem, from their orders, it doesn't seem like he will be put on there.
Thumb screws. Yeah, those hurt. Yeah.
It's Gracchus.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, those are great. I love those.
Yeah. Yes.
So what are we gonna do about this?
Absent-mindedly, yes, they are great.
I miss my own at home, yes.
So what are we gonna do about him? Looks like for now he's safe.
Sid,
Hmm.
why don't you have something to eat? It's been a long day.
You can just ask me to leave. That's more polite.
Now who's giving lessons on polite?
Ashoka motions to the table. You can eat here if you'd like.
Ooh. Okay.
Ashoka wants to rip off a few sendings.
Okay, who are you sending to?
I'm gonna send to the fucking commissioner.
Which one?
I have met both. I would like to send to the commissioner that is in the church.
Okay, the
real.
The real commissioner. Okay.
Yeah.
Please stand up. Please stand up.
I think you just dated us.
We were talking about typo negative just a moment ago.
Yeah.
So. It was about the same time. Do you want this one typed out, or is it okay just to do it in...
No, that's fine. You can do the gist.
Murder, not me.
A little under the weather, are we? Anything that friends could do for you in your predicament?
Who is this?
He should immediately recognize
Yep.
me. Yep.
Oh,
Oh.
Ashoka. I'm fine for now, although that... Be careful. There are doppel things about. The secret is in their blood. The Inquisitors know. They're from Canterport. The bastard's spending all of my money.
All my
Magnus is here. He seems to be in good spirits, and yeah, this
Yeah, chills up.
Yeah.
For the next 10 minutes, he's in there talking to himself.
You should probably give him the rules.
To my...
This spell sends 25 words.
The next
Go.
one will be to Magnus.
Okay.
Get out of my head! Stop! Yeah, go on.
Mark, I need a good priest name. This is the guy who likes inquisiting.
Oh,
Is it going to be a
Caleb.
German name?
no. It's gonna be, how about Caleb Goodman?
Yep.
That's a good one. That name is incorrect.
Exactly.
The name is incorrect.
Adam, have you watched the second season of Punisher?
Not yet. It's,
Okay, that's it. There's a bad guy in there. He's like a religious type. He looks so wholesome and evil at the same time. It's disturbing.
Yeah, he's based. It's the quote-unquote original character that's totally not based off of the Mormon.
Yeah, yes, that
comics.
was right. I told you.
Yeah. The next one will be to Magnus, and it will be.
Tell him the rules.
He should have seen this by now. It appears that you're being held, but should not be harmed. I'll be keeping tabs on you. Don't do anything rash.
So far, I'm sitting tight. If I need to, I may be able to get out of here, but it's not easy. How are the gladiators doing?
How are they taking the loss? It's so crying.
Tell them I'll be back.
The next one goes to Cella.
Okay.
The news is you're not to be harmed. We'll be keeping tabs. Is there anything that you need?
Ashoka, I saw the face of death down here. I didn't know this Inquisitor was in town. Do not cross. Caleb Goodman. I don't believe that we are in for a nice time in the Towers of Faith. May the goddess save us all.
She's in good spirits.
That should be fine.
Harm could be relative.
All right. The last message, I've got actually two more, but I'll save one message or one sending spell for an emergency. Will be to Arlen.
This is so much fun!
So this is this evening.
Yep.
The gladiators are all partying at the retreat at this point in time, so I'm going to move their tokens down to the retreat, where their celebration is in full swing. Gambling and drinking and eating and carrying on and whatnot.
Arlen is staying focused because he's got to protect somebody.
Congratulations on your victory. Well played.
Thank you. Sorry for your losses. If you need anything for Magnus, let us know. It was an accident. He will be reprimanded.
Oh, I got one left. Do I diamond beg? A diamond wouldn't go amiss. Like they saw him come back. Yeah, we'll see.
Let's see if I got the right patrons there. Kane is not hanging out at. Kane's at the arena, still hiding.
Maybe they'll forget about me.
Mama Bloodbear is not there. Okay.
Depending on what they have in the market, we might be picking up Kane as our extra.
Where's Godiva? Godiva's partying with Prancy Pants, and Damian, I think, is partying with his sister.
Damian's partying there, yep.
The Countess even stopped by for a drink. Just one drink, but a drink. Yeah, the Circus of the Circus of Dread takes over the retreat and is spending some hard-earned coin on a party. Are any of you gambling while drunk?
Arlen tells them, no
I don't have
gambling.
any money yet. I have off the bet.
We
All right.
are no one is allowed to gamble tonight. Understood?
Boo! Arlen!
Oh shit! You still have the fire resistance.
Subtract a talent as you guys drink. You drink well and deep of the good stuff. Hanging outside of the retreat but not allowed in is your neighborhood friendly drug dealer. What is his name? Old Dreg. Yeah, Old Dreg.
Man, he's got the ride.
The party is off the hook. He's hanging outside if any of you need his services. Yeah, at this point in time, Ugg is having a arm wrestle with his tiny hand with Edward and having a laugh at that. Edward's like, yeah, come on. Even Beric Tarn's having a beer or two. His scales are. It looks like he needs to mold. Well, actually, no. He hasn't finished his leveling up, so it looks like he's like something's wrong with him. And he's got two weird spines kind of out of his back, like his wings are kind of growing in.
You got some sort of acne thing, like a cyst? Are you growing an ug arm, or?
No, these are my wings.
Mazel tov. Or whatever equivalent, sort of.
You're growing wings, says Callie, who's sitting on Sam's lap, drunk.
Our little Beric is turning into a man. Yeah.
He just nods. Perhaps all the fighting and the magic. I did not know whether or not I would grow them. Only those who are true dragons do.
Well, you fought like one.
What are Nibbles and Grizzak like at a drunken party?
Breaking shit and getting falling
Kicked-
down.
Grizzak is
Nibbles think he can break table with face.
Grizzak is some kind of animal, maybe a sloth, like a large sloth or something.
Okay.
And not a sloth, sorry, a large orangutan.
Okay.
And he's just using his long tongue to just drinking. And he casts the animal talk.
Yep.
Animal speak.
There's another one!
If you was good druid, you could turn into a prancy fence.
What happened?
Nice. You guys have a fun time. Subtract another talent because all the broken furniture will be put on your tab at the end of the night.
Hey, who's paying for this anyway?
Oh, funny.
Don't be mad at yourself. Do it!
Okay, so your response was made to Ashoka?
Yes.
Okay.
The response was...
Sorry guys, I was just listening to the
Oh,
stream. Marty, your voice is fine. Ours is really low. That's what I noticed. And I don't know if the stream sees the same thing. I just hear that on my end when I'm listening to it.
Stream, let us know.
Yeah, if the sounds are fine, just let us know. But
No, Arlen was Arlen's response was around reprimanding Ugg and offering recompense for Magnus.
help.
Yeah, recompense.
Help.
Money.
You figure out how you want to call that. And
Okay, all right. So there's some head nods between Ludus masters. That is good.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that kind of gets into what Ashoka. There's some RPing. Are we done with what we're doing with Magnus, or
I think we're just keeping tabs on him until something. Otherwise, we're just gonna let him cool off for a bit. You know.
Got it. So does that mean you're doing fast training?
Yes.
Okay.
Sid will also do fast training since that shit is fine.
No,
It
you
seems fine.
you did your espionage. You can do fast training next week.
Okie dokie.
All right. So Ashoka has done his fast training. Zedd has done his fast training. We've got Phineas is retraining and learning spells. That is done.
Yep.
Sid, we had espionage. That is done. PR Magnus. Yeah, Magnus is in prison. He doesn't have any choice, no matter.
Actions.
That is done. Sona, train 11. He needs 7 successes for his first level and then 8 for his second level. So roll 11 dice.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay, he is not. He does not achieve his level in this one pip, which means that there's still training that needs to happen in at least 2 more weeks. Fleas. He's getting entertained. Give me 5 dice.
Come on, you can joke better than that. 3 successes.
You could joke me. 3 successes. Okay, his morale is improved. Czargon is AWOL.
Fuck you, Czargon.
Yeah.
Hey, buddy.
Can they see?
Yes, we can.
Yes, they can. Here, say hi. Wave. Yeah.
Scarab is fast training.
Hey, buddy.
That is done. You have your level. 5 dice for Wizard Ling. Looks like he's got some medical issues. Getting rid of some fatigue and bumps and bruises.
Success.
A success is still enough. So he's at 0 for his health. Old Vigo's also got some medical issues. Some ointment needs to be applied to his bunions. 4 dice. You need 1 success.
3 successes.
All right.
You spit shine them bunions.
Yep. Gross.
And that's why people see our stream.
Nova is idle, Quailsy is idle, and 6 is spying on the circus. Is there a particular question you want answered, or a series of questions?
This would be greater. This would be like the first round of spying. I want more general knowledge
Of who these people
I would
are.
like to utilize more meta information that I have, and I need a justification to do so.
Okay, so who they are, kind of what their classes are, and their gladiator tiers is pretty much the thing. Okay, this is pretty easy information to find out because everyone wants to know. So we'll say you've got 13 dice, you need 3 successes to find out this basic info. 3 for their tiers, it would be 6 for all of their classes. 8? Okay. So you know Ashoka at the end of that 5 days gets his neatly penned note of a list of names, their basic capabilities, and their ranks. He also with 8 finds out their current status of whether they're slave citizens or subjects. And the interesting piece of information you have is that Arlen's a slave that has been given the title of acting Lannister for his school. And you're like, slave. Like there's a lot of slaves that are wandering around.
So Ugg is a slave?
Ugg is a slave.
Nibbles is a slave.
Nibbles is a slave, yes.
And Arlen is a slave.
Yep. And so is Grizak.
He's interesting, although he's just like a caster.
Edward is a slave, and Beric Tarn is a slave. You don't find anything out about Widget. You don't find out much about Godiva and the dwarves. You know that there's some dwarves, but they're not. They're basically reserve gladiators, is the way he describes them.
Let's just keep tabs on Arlen and see if he does anything, that slaves shouldn't do.
Okay, so that's the next week. That's the next week you spied on the circus. That is done. Phineas, are there any RP encounters? We've got RP, Undwin, and Godiva written down. Your audio is not your. We need Disco Mark.
Sorry, I was chewing.
That's right.
Yeah. Phineas is sending Undwin to, because he's got his heart set on being a summoner. Fine, go be a summoner.
Really? He says. Undwin's eyes light up. Are you
Yes,
serious?
Undwin, because I don't think I can take you falling asleep through another alchemy lesson.
I try. It's interesting.
He lies.
I realize this is boring.
But I really want an Eidolon, he says. It's going to be the best dog ever.
Well, I'm a dog, all right.
He nods.
Well, here, take this.
I read a book once about a boy and his dog.
Ben, you see Ben?
Well, I'll take you to the library someday. Just letting you know.
So who is this summoner? He says. Like, he doesn't know who Godiva is.
Oh, I saw her speaking with Lady Opal during the games.
Oh, so does she know I'm coming?
No, but
Could you make the introduction?
sure, if you wish.
Okay, so Phineas strikes out into town to try to find
He
good.
sends Nyx ahead with a message that we're coming. So.
Okay, Nyx is your new and improved familiar that doesn't talk back. It is a it is a tattoo of a raven that comes off your skin and flies around like a real raven.
Yeah, he just kind of shakes it out his sleeve and it flies out.
That is awesome. All right, we'll say it's like the day after the party. Godiva, are you hungover?
Yes, she is.
Okay, what are you and Prancy Pants doing that late morning when a raven arrives?
My aching head. Prancy Pants, stop with the prancing. It's killing me.
All right, let me find Undwin. I think he's up here. Where is everyone? There's an Undwin.
This map.
Where's the pasty Phineas? There we go.
He's not at the Tower of the Sage.
All right, I've put you both at the Sunrise House.
Oh, okay.
Who is hanging out with Godiva that morning, if anyone?
Anyone who is anyone.
Are we having breakfast?
All right, Sam and Callie are there.
Sam and Callie. There you go.
They're having breakfast at the breakfast table, and everyone's kind of like, the others have slept in. When there's a knock at the door.
I'll get it.
Okay, you see Undwin and a very immaculately dressed Phineas, the Grand Mage of Vaddapol, is at the door.
Is he bringing his big ass booming staff?
No, he stopped carrying that around because apparently it was making people uneasy.
Let's make it invisible.
Hi, Sam, says Undwin. He looks particularly excited.
Hey, Undwin, how you doing?
Oh, good. Oh, is that the Eidolon?
That does appear to be an island, for there's no creature known to nature.
Hey, High Mage, you want some eggs?
I actually would like some eggs if you're cooking breakfast. I'd very much appreciate that.
Yeah, it's one step up from gladiator food, and it's not especially well prepared, but
Greasy eggs,
yeah.
bacon, something that looks kind of like grits. Some mushy thing.
Yep, they sit you down at a well-worn table. It's a little dirtier than you're used to, although you lived in a ludus for a while, so it's you sit there. Godiva's there.
Oh, it's a very nice ludus you have here. Much nicer than what we had for the gladiators at the Crimson Scale. Quite lucky. Of course, Arlen does seem rather nice chap.
Yeah, you were. Wait, yeah, you were with the Crimson Scale guys. Are they mad at us for often their Primus, but then the magic happened?
Yes, that's well, to be honest, we always suspected Magnus would die in the arena. Didn't expect him to come back quite so quickly, but I'm sure there's no hard feelings. It is It's the arena, after all.
Unwin comes running into the room. It has wings, and then goes running back out of the room.
What do you... Why'd they take him? Or is that, like, high mage, need to know kind of, sort of stuff?
You're kind of young for a wizard, aren't you? Says Callie.
I'm not entirely certain why they took him. It has something to do with him coming back to life, and the restrictions churches place on other churches casting certain spells. Now, Magnus was the recipient of the spell, and I'm going to write a letter arguing that he's a gladiator of character. Shouldn't face any punishment. His healer friend, however, I don't know if there's anything I could do for her. Though I hear good things, I suppose. Oh, these are very good eggs. What do you spice them with?
Bacon fat. Lard.
He just kind of goes... That's good.
How's the Magian business?
Well, it's...
He's rather young for a wizard.
I've been dealing mostly with administrative work lately, and but I did get to... He tells you a 20-minute story about surveying for the obelisk. Until someone says stop.
I think Sam has 1 rank in spellcraft.
Yeah.
He's going to roll his rank in spellcraft, which gives him a +1 spellcraft.
Okay, this is the roll to see if you even understand what the fuck he's talking about.
Know what the hell is going on?
Yep.
21!
Yeah, you know the repercussions of this. This means that all teleports coming into the city will arrive at the same spot.
Wait, you mean to tell us... Will that even work in the arena? Where, like, it'll pull the... Like, if you try to... like, do the teleport thingy?
Yes, precisely. That way there'll be no unforeseen attacks by teleporting bands such as... Well, not that you would do it, but people of equal power or deadliness as you.
How does that affect the gladiator rules for,
Oh, to be honest, I hadn't thought of that.
If you leave the arena, you forfeit the match.
So
if you're spelled to the nuts and if you're a spellcasting gladiator who wants to escape, and you're loaded to the nuts with spells, a 4th circle spell that will get you basically to the edge of the city, and then you fly the fuck off.
Yes, I'll have to bring that up. Yes, we can make adjustments for that, I'm sure.
Glad I could help.
Thank you, Sam. I hadn't even considered that.
What does Godiva say to all this? She understands what that
Yeah.
means for teleport, being a caster and good spellcraft.
Yep. Just come here to tell us about your fancy statue, or just to eat our eggs? What are you here for? I actually came to see you. My apprentice is a conjurer. Very interested in summoning for some reason. Alchemy bores him. I don't understand why. How can you not enjoy playing with beakers? It's fantastic.
He's really strong. He comes running in and then goes running back out again.
He's very interested in learning your craft. I would pay, of course, for your time and whatever you require. But he does rather seem to have his heart set on. He's a good apprentice, I promise you that. He's eager to learn, as you can clearly see, and is not nearly as retarded as he seems right now. Can I interest you? Well, he seems excitable. I'll tell you what. I'll give him a couple lessons. We'll see how it goes. If he works out, he works out. If not, well, you have to deal with the tears. All right, Sonny? Sonny? Thank you. Very well. Yes, thank you.
You're rather young for a wizard, says Callie.
Yes, as people tend to remind me.
You can eat that? She's pointing at the last bit of bacon on your plate.
Oh.
Sam was like trying to be polite.
Oh,
Every time he goes to pick it up, he's like, "So tell me about the other thing."
oh, please take it.
Okay, she grabs it and sticks the whole thing in her mouth right away. When people looking at her, she's like,
Yeah.
"What?"
Okay. So what's boy Wenda's name? Oh, his name is Undwin. I'm surprised you haven't met.
He hears his name. He comes in,
service to Lady Obel.
wide-eyed and just looking back and forth.
Undwin, this is actually knowledge local. I would have found out before I came over.
Damn it, wrong sheet.
What are you looking for?
I'm looking for Phineas's character sheet. Knowledge local. Knowledge local Duchy of Vade, or well, she hasn't been Vaddapol that long, so probably Duchy of Vade.
Why are you deep breathing into the microphone and whispering Marty's name?
I just something blew in my mind.
Whoa!
So I got a 21. Do I know her name?
Like Ahmed's like this.
I'll tell you what I'm thinking when you're done. Sorry.
All right. You rolled a 21. Yeah, I don't know if you know who she is. She isn't level 9 yet. She hasn't been here for long.
She is the lady that all the children have been clamoring about the
Yeah.
magical pony thing.
Yeah. You know with a 21 that she must be part of this like tribe of more civilized goblins that the Grim Goblin are pretending to be.
Would she be required to register with the tower as a arcane spellcaster?
I believe
or
so.
No. Okay. And my dear, I'm afraid I don't know your name, as you have not yet registered with the tower. Unless, of course, you're not planning on being a permanent resident. Oh, yeah. Registering. No, I'm going to be moving along with the rest of the group after a little bit, so I don't see any point in registering. But yeah, I'd be happy to train your apprentice. How about that? Glad to hear it. The name's Godiva. I'm sure you won't forget it. And she flips her hair. All right, Undwin.
Master Godiva?
You call me Auntie Godiva, okay?
Auntie? He says. He bobs his head up and down. He takes a seat at the table as everyone's sitting.
Undwin, can you go get me some more wine? Little hair of the dog.
Yes, Auntie. And he goes running off to go get wine. He's like, doesn't know where the wine is. And sniffs a couple of decanters and makes his craft alchemy check.
Yeah. Do any of you know if Lady Opal is home?
Maybe.
No, I gotta take this. Sorry, guys.
That's a house phone. Do those exist still?
Hello, Lady Opal.
Landline.
No.
Mark starts role playing with himself while on the call.
It's actually just a
He's calling himself from his cell phone.
He finally found a use for the cell phone. It's to call himself to get out of conversation.
Boring conversation anyways. funny?
Oh, what I find funny is we continuously reference Sandstorm and then comment about how Eminem is going to date us.
What?
Like, Sand.
Oh, right.
That's
Yeah.
from like 93.
All right, Mark. You wanted to go talk to the Countess?
Yes, very quickly.
Okay.
Underwind, I'm going to leave you in capable hands of your friends here.
Okay, I will be back later to finish my
No,
chores.
Actually, I will be busy with some research for a week or two.
Oh,
Why don't you learn what you can from Auntie Godiva? And
he
I will
smiles.
send,
There's genuine
I will
joy.
send, I will send Nix when you are to return to the tower for more lessons.
He nods. Thank you, Master Phineas. You're very kind.
Do be as good a student for her as you were for me, and I'm sure you'll succeed.
He's like, there is zeal in his eyes when he bobs his head up and down.
All right. He goes to try and find Lady Opal.
I'm gonna have the best dog ever. He turns to Sam.
All right. He knocks on the
Couple of guards are like, "Fuck, that's the Grand Mage." They kind of stand alert as they were leaning against the doorway. They knock on the door, and a page comes and sees who you are, and basically you are able to get an impromptu visit with the Countess by just being who you are.
Yeah.
A few moments later, you join Godiva. This is the fall. You join her in a small garden. She looks like she fully intended on doing some gardening, but is sitting down at this nice table, and there's a nice, fresh-looking sort of like squeezed juice in a glass decanter, and she's sitting underneath an umbrella. It looked like she didn't get any gardening done, and her servants are actually doing the gardening.
What a lovely
Including a goblin who seems to be snipping some flowers and making a bouquet. Oh, Phineas. Good day to you.
Lady Opal.
Fall season here. Had to do some gardening. My bulbs, she says, pointing at a basket.
Never had a hand for gardening.
Oh, neither do I, she says as she kind of looks at the little troll that's sitting on the table beside her with a little bit of dirt on it, and she kind of wipes a little bit of dirt off of her otherwise very clean overalls.
Oh.
Do sit. Have some freshly squeezed juice.
Oh, wonderful, thank you.
And Pauldra pours you a glass.
I've come to discuss, I suppose, I'd like to make an arrangement with you. And I suppose business as well.
She nods slowly.
The boy, Unwin. I'd like to purchase his contract.
Oh. I was rather hoping that the boy would one day serve, my granddaughter.
He certainly could. I think you'll find he'd be more effective as a free mage.
You have no plans of getting him all involved in the politics of the Parliament of Wizards?
Absolutely not. Unwin is surprising. I was leery about taking an apprentice at first, but he's a good lad.
Yes, I've observed the same. We will have to speak to, I think it's Arlen that holds the contract, not... Well, I guess she holds it, because she's the owner, that's right.
Yeah.
I say no.
I don't see any reason why Unwin couldn't serve you as an apprentice.
Well, I have been teaching him. However, the arrangement I spoke of is I wouldn't let him know that I hold the contract. To be honest, I would plan on setting him free.
To what end would you keep that from the boy?
Discipline, I suppose.
He seems not to care. He seems not to care one way or another.
As someone who's familiar with the constraints of being under contract, believe me, he will care.
Ah. Perhaps when all this...
however, like him to remain with here. I would, of course, pay for room and board if he causes any damage. He seems to have something here that I cannot provide him. Family. He's friends with all of the gladiators. Arlen provides a moral, if somewhat heretical compass.
I expected this talk to come from Arlen, although I suppose I'm not surprised. He is a good lad. This is why I would want to make sure that he has a good upbringing. Perhaps when all this comes to a close, this business with the shadow in the north,
we are facing dark times in the near future, I believe.
well, if you will allow an old lady to think on it.
Of course.
Give me a diplomacy check. You can have a +4, because it was a reasonable offer.
$37.
Yay!
Just take the contractor. I never liked him that much anyway.
No, we'll say by the end of this 5-day chunk, there is the contract that is sent over to you, and the pittance that put Unwin into slavery is paid. Like, you can just, it's like a talent.
Oh, yeah, okay, done.
Talent's a lot when you don't have a talent.
Yeah, talent is a lot when you don't have a talent. I'll take that off my character sheet.
She should be charging you for his actual value, though. The talent is what keeps Unwin in the bonds of servitude. His actual value, you just came to her and basically said, "This kid is wonder bread," you know, like.
Yeah.
Send me some Wunderkind. I see Phineas and Arlen as like opposites. Phineas has this dark, jaded, horrible exterior, and inside he's like a gooey, nice character. And Arlen is the opposite of that. Like, exterior it's all good and sweetness, but he's neutral, and he runs it that way.
I'm neutral, baby.
He's it's all a lie. I am the goodness and the light. No, you're the light.
Watch the light.
Okay. Yeah, you could put down on your character sheet that you have Unwin's indentured. He's an indentured servant. He's not. It's like a degree of slavery. But you have his contract.
He's immediately going to, as soon as he gets that, he's just going to do whatever paperwork's required to set him free.
Okay.
Do you give him like a little wooden wizard staff? You're free.
You could make a ceremony out of it if you wanted.
The whole point is to lie. That he still thinks.
The whole point is to lie. Like.
Yep.
But if anything happens to Lady Opal, no one can inherit Unwin.
That is really excellent thinking. Yeah, something happens to Lady Opal, and all of her property gets divvied up into different places and put on auction, and yeah, some bad things could happen. All right, so
there's an old lady who, you know.
I've added a line item for each of these turns for your facilities and personnel. Are you making your personnel do anything this month?
Sorry.
Huh?
Your crafters, your intelligence espionage, your security, your market contacts. Is the Conclave doing anything this particular
Yes. We're putting out feelers on gladiators.
Okay. You've got 4 dice in market, so give me 4 rolls. Each of the successes, you learn about one of the gladiators that is currently on the market that we rolled up the other day.
All the success, baby. Tell me about the 4th.
All right. So the gladiators that
We'll take the 4th one.
you know that there is a knife fighter that is human from a north and western village. He is very honorable, and he's obsessed with fishing. And he's a veteran.
Please buy him.
He's a veteran. He's a veteran gladiator that was trained up in the capital city. The reason why he's being sold is that the owner is trying to make money. Like, this was an investment that somebody made, and they've come to Vaddapol. That's right. The next one you have to almost read twice. The report is, this creature is kept in a giant cauldron and is made of goopy bits.
Buy him too.
He's a heroic shapeshifter of some sort, whose touch is acidic.
Sounds messy.
And the third one is a sorceress in chains.
Oh yeah, I passed out at that point.
Yes.
And then what kind of warrior? Like, how does she fight? What's her warrior style with a low dex and a good strength? Like,
Back.
maybe it's a long spear?
Yeah.
She's a polearm mage.
She's a Lucius.
The race is Dampier.
Oh, this is hitting at him right in the feelies. Oh, oh. But then there's the ooze bucket. We'll call him Chum Bucket.
All these people need names, I guess, so we'll take a moment to name these people. So we need a really good Canadian name. His name will be... no, I've got it.
Jean-Guy Lafreniere.
Clark.
Clark.
MacArthur.
Clark MacArthur. Clark MacArthur.
Yep. Clark MacArthur.
That's what we're doing here, mate.
I think that's a hockey dude's name. Maybe we shouldn't. Let me just check here. Yeah, Clark MacArthur is like the most Canadian. Okay, we'll just call him Clark. It'll just be Clark.
That's what we're doing there. That's what we're doing there, mate. What is
We need the ooze creature's name. So basically, I'm going to do elf name generator because he.
I would like to call him Eimer.
Eimer.
Mm-hmm.
Eimer little Uzi.
It's Eimer, German for bucket.
Okay. Eimer.
Oh.
And then his gladiator name is the what?
Eimer the Ooze.
Eimer the ooze. All right. Fair enough. Don't need to overthink it, Marty. And then we need...
Fucking ooze. It's not like he's like, I'm the barbarian or something.
I wonder if there's a vampire name generator. Vampire name generator.
Just look up a Romanian name generator. Friggin' like Andre, spelt with like E's.
Oh, perfect. Her name is Mercy.
It's emo as shit. We're gonna buy our masterwork corset.
Buy Oozeman and have him recruit a squad of oozes to fight with. How many successes did you have? All of them?
All of them.
you know that there is some interest in all three of these gladiators currently on the market. And you find out that... which one do you want to find out who you're in competition with?
We lost the tree, and we lost Magnus.
And up until now, we still don't have a Czargon.
And we still don't have a Czargon. With Zedd and Fleas and Sona, I think we could use more spellcasting in the ring. We got spellcasters, but I think the Dampier first. Mercy.
Okay. Let's look at the gladiator Ludi and figure out which group is interested in the Dampier.
Do they come like win-loss records or anything, or?
Yeah, they do. This would be kind of part of their achieving veteran and heroic and a veteran status. Clark's got a good win-loss record. He's lost a few times, but he tends to win by KOs, but not killing. There are some notes he doesn't like killing. And we'll say that the tagline is the gladiator's gentleman, the gentleman gladiator. Eimer the Ooze was a creature that was captured. You do know that there's additional paperwork that the Imperial Ministry of Magic has placed a curse upon Eimer so that more of his kind cannot be spawned.
Okay, so some weird. Sorry, how does that work again? Sorry, I was just trying to chat.
Eimer the Ooze has a curse on him
To prevent him from
spawning more of his kind.
His abilities. Oh my god, I'm looking at the build stuff. He's gonna be shit. He's gonna start out with 8 charisma, 7 wisdom, or some nonsense.
We're not paying him to think, Adam.
Oh, that's fun. That's funny. Okay, so who basically you're asking about the about Mercy.
Mercy.
The monks don't want her. No to them. You find out that the independents want to purchase her, which is a really weird thing to say. The whole concept of the independents is that they don't belong to a ludus, but you start to get hints that they might form a ludus. Under Ajax the Crawl.
Somebody's got to replace the Grim Goblin. Are we worried about Lady Pants coming and beating all of our asses with a wooden sword again?
We should always be worried about Lady Pants because she gets drunk and does some crazy shit.
Yeah, I don't think she can do us like that again.
She's still off in the capital, as far as you guys know.
Yeah, Ugg might be able to take her. I don't know.
I think there's a few of us. We got people who can get their ACs into the fucking low 50s. So
this is true. Yeah.
She's gonna have to try harder.
Okay. So that's what your market is going for right now. The highest bid for Mercy is 7 talents.
Okay.
Do you want your market guys to put in a bid?
Yeah. Put in 8.
Okay. So I'm just going to make a note that auction is going to happen on the 3rd week.
It's funny. I'm looking at these 3 I'm looking at these 3, and Clark is actually the best out of those 3. But I don't want to buy a paladin or make him do bad things. All right, paladin. Let's see how far we can pull this bullshit.
All right. There's a 20% chance of a random event for the Conclave of Crimson Scale. Nope.
No.
Goes up to 40 for next time. All right. Going on to the Circus of Dread. Radimer is in Terra's Lean training and doing some research, so you don't know what he's up to. Damian finishes his fast training. Damian had some RP that he wanted to do. Did we finish all Ashoka? Ashoka and Zedd needs to still happen. There's Unwing Godiva, and Magnus's trial isn't happening yet, so that will wait. Zdd and Zedd. I've got RP Magnus. And I've ed Zedd Scry on Czargon. Okay, so the Conclave isn't quite done yet. So Ashoka and Zedd, while you're here, Adam.
Yep.
You have to file your paperwork to figure out who are your gladiators for next season, and Magnus and both Czargon are AWOL. I think you guys decided you were just going to list Czargon anyways.
Yep.
And you've got an empty slot.
We were more concerned about just all ending up in the ocean on another planet under a volcano. If Czargon doesn't come back.
Okay. And then you were like, maybe Zedd could be the new ludus champion. You came to a loose agreement with Scarab. Scarab is going to fight for you guys, but you have to pay him as you go.
He's doing a pay as you go?
Yeah.
Yep. He also didn't show terribly well in that last one.
Yeah. So Zedd, are you looking in on Czargon? Do you have Scry? Is that a thing?
Zedd, yeah, he's a druid.
Okay. Zedd has gone down into Czargon's pit and found some of the old molted scales, and is preparing to cast a Scry when Ashoka finds out where Zedd is. Sid could be there as well if you want.
Zedd, I was looking for you. Czargon is still missing. I was gone for, what, a week? 2? What happened? I suppose it's always good to get practice in. I told you that he absconded with an artifact, and he has yet to return. I'm hoping he will come of his own volition. I won't have to hunt him down. What are you gonna do? You're down many. And Magnus still hasn't come back.
Not very polite for Magnus to go and get himself arrested like that. Not very polite at all.
Yes, something is amiss, but we're keeping our eyes on it. Magnus should be safe, Zedd. Don't worry, we take care of our own. Do you want to watch me cast the spell? Oh, if you wouldn't mind.
You want to write up a contract, Skinny?
Fake
it's
business
funny.
contract in law.
It's like Malbut from the other campaign.
Malbut.
Sign the contract.
No, sign contract. Okay, I will cast the scry.
Okay, so you basically
So we'll just
create
watch
water
over.
into a puddle in the middle of the earthen floor, or the floor inside of Czargon's pit. You pick up some of the mottled scales, and you're casting Scry. What is the DC of your Scry with the Czargon bit?
So I believe I'm very familiar with Czargon. As in, if I'm not familiar, I don't know who is.
Yep.
So the DC of familiar is -5. I got a body part that's -10. So that's 15 on top of the 4th circle spell. So 21, 36.
All right. Is there SR with Scry?
Yes.
Okay, you got to break Czargon's SR first.
Stop growing! 27.
You break his SR, and then Czargon's saving throw is nat 20. You just see mist in your puddle. Sid, are you commenting on there not being an image? It's all the...
Apparently you suck. Do you want me to go find them?
No, I wouldn't want... No, Sid. I wouldn't want you to end up dead again.
Oh, yeah.
Ashoka will cast Ascending to Czargon.
Okay.
Czargon, when are you planning on returning? we can't install the heart without you being here, you also missed the end of season games.
Stupid storm. Stuck on island. Was trying to get there and back. Map looked like it was close.
I believe him.
Yep. He sounds miserable.
Zedd.
Have heart. Safely stowed away in my hoard.
Zedd, you'll be happy to know that Czargon is as loyal as ever. Remember the notification that there's a storm priest around who is gallivanting around? Apparently he's got Czargon trapped on an island. That might explain why he doesn't let me peer upon him. His defenses are up. I also put my first rank in spellcraft during this training block.
Do you have over like a 5-day period more scry spells?
Yeah,
okay.
He'll be doing one per day.
Okay, so let's do the next one. There's more dragon bits that you have. What's the DC again?
36.
23. Okay. Yeah, it looks like there's some stormy weather, and Czargon is just sitting in kind of like a shallow cave, looking out.
Cracked SR.
Oh, right. Okay. Next, the third day.
Sorry, man.
23.
Yeah, that's your SR check? Okay.
Yep.
I confused for a second there because he rolls a 23 on his save.
Yeah,
okay, so this time you see him kind of sitting in a shallow cave. The weather looks bad or stormy. You don't see any treasure around him. He looks a little bit annoyed. He was actually kind of like half sleeping, and you notice his eye opens up, and he's looking around, and he closes his eye.
Zedd, we need to pick up Czargon. But I don't believe Czargon is ready to be the Primus. It'd be dangerous for him. Yes, it would be dangerous for him. I can get Czargon back, but we're going to need to be putting up a Primus. The paperwork is due. Magnus is nowhere to be seen.
Very impolite. Very impolite.
Most impolite. Gritting of teeth.
I don't know if you guys misheard. He said there's a stormy weather. He didn't say anything about a storm priest. I think you guys made a leap
we
there.
did a big logical leap of bullshit.
Yep.
Oh, yes. What do you want, Ashoka? Well, we just need someone suitable to act as Primus for a season. Do you feel Czargon is ready? No. Then we need to find another. What about Scarab?
No, Adam also said storm priest, but anyways. Yep.
Yeah, no, I said it. Yeah, no, I said it in character.
You don't see any sign of storm priest, and it doesn't look like Czargon's in any trouble. Zedd, you got the sense that he might have saw a map or something and flew to an island. Mm-hmm. And typically in the fall, weather starts to turn.
Yeah, he might just got caught in a fucking storm.
He might be thinking twice about doing a really long, like, many 100-mile flight kind of thing.
A really long fuck off flight.
Yep. From your limited view of the scry spell, you can't quite tell what island it is. Like, you only see about 10 feet around him, and he's just sitting there looking miserable.
What do you want me to do, Ashoka? Well, you are our based off of the results of the end of season games, you got us second place, almost single-handedly. You equipped yourself very well, even without the Czargon showing up. Is this something I have to do? It would be highly recommended. We could bring up others. The more we have to bring up, the more death there'll be.
Most unfortunate, most unfortunate.
I will need to be compensated appropriately, and I still have right of refusal over Czargon's fights. Yes, over Czargon's fights. Okay, gonna cast a teleport to go get Czargon and teleport back.
Alright, so you're now seeing the spot, so I don't think there's a failure chance.
Okay.
You appear next to Czargon. I'm just going to drag your tokens off to the side for a moment. Are you bringing Nim or not?
Nim comes for free.
Okay.
So.
Where is the little bastard? There he is.
Would you like to come home, Czargon?
Will I be punished? I thought I could make it there and back in time, but the weather turned. And even we dragons, we are strong flyers. But
yeah, you're kind of on like a lightly wooded, somewhat small-looking island. They're like rocks that are nearby that are being battered by choppy seas. The island doesn't look like it's large enough to have like fauna.
We all make mistakes, Czargon. The real mistake is you're not strong enough to control the weather yet.
Yes.
It's
Someday.
not something you should be bowing to.
Someday. This heart, however, it needs to be safe. It needs to be mine. It needs to be in me. But who would do this? Zedd would have taken it from me. Magnus would have taken it from me. I had no choice.
Well, Magnus is currently suffering the consequences of your abandonment.
Did we win?
No.
He huffed. You don't know if it was a chuckle or not.
We came in second.
Who won?
The circus. Upstarts, newcomers. Someone looking to take our fame, fortune, recognition. A chunk of our hoard.
I need to kill dragons after I have the heart.
They might have someone appropriate to start with. Half dragon close enough for a warm-up.
Yes. I know what must be done. I must consume the hearts of those I defeat. And then I can become them.
It is limited to dragons, yes?
For me it will be, yes.
Doesn't that make us all feel safer?
Will you help me with this? How do you take out my heart and put this thing in? I do not know, but I know I want to.
I know someone who can. Are you ready to come home, Czargon?
He glances around.
The heart will be safe here.
Okay, Ashoka takes a moment to study the place.
Yeah, you just kind of take a look around. You've seen it. You've seen it once.
I have a 15% or whatever mischance.
Yeah. Just for fun, we'll say the island looks like the Oak Island. That's kind of what it looks like. It's like lightly wooded and kind of in the middle of nowhere.
Yep. Now, as I understood it before, you could teleport 2 boats.
Yep.
And Vogul is expecting me to report to him on a boat.
Yes.
And I would assume it's his boat.
Yes.
So I'm going to bring Czargon to Vogul's boat.
Have you been to his boat before? Have you seen it?
Am I getting my campaigns confused? I might be. I thought I did. But
I don't think you've been on the.
That might have been the old incarnation.
Yep.
Oh, sorry.
Where are you teleporting, Czargon?
We'll just go back to the Crimson Scale.
Okay, give me your percentile.
Yep.
This is very familiar at this point.
Yep. Yeah,
no problem. You appear in the kitchen, in the dining area.
It was a nice trip.
Yes.
Yeah. Sid, you see that Czargon has returned.
If you're
There
speaking,
you
you're
are.
muted. There you go.
No, I was looking at this.
There you are. Been a while.
Yes, I had something I had to do.
He looks at Ashoka.
I heard we lost.
Pretty, yep.
Turns out the gladiators of this ludus aren't very good after all.
Well, maybe those new ones. Oh, they're
Gracchus, you could hear the dragon talking smack.
they're pretty strong.
Muted.
Tricksy. Lots of spells.
Where's Zed?
Over here. You know that the gladiatorial arena is a team combat. It is a team event.
Yes, I thought I could make it there and back in time. I could not. The weather turned on me.
If we plan to have more soldiers in the future, we should provide you a method of communicating. A way to ask for help.
Someday I will know that spell of yours.
Who's he looking at for that one?
Ashoka? The one that just allowed you to...
Yep, there you. Be happy to teach you.
Yes, it was most unpolite for you to lick.
The snarl from Czargon.
Mute the fire, bitch!
Yep.
Not to biting.
Then we'll have to win this season's games. I hear they have a dragon. I want to fight him. I want to eat his heart.
We will not be eating hearts.
This one I will. And for good reason.
We do not eat the hearts of men.
He is not a man. He is a dragon.
We will speak about this later.
Czargon slips away if you let him back into his little den. All right, you've got Czargon back. He's no longer
now
AWOL.
Go talk to Vogie.
That dragon's an asshole.
He is.
Who, the dragon?
That was Scarab's.
Oh, right.
Scarab was like, he got fucking Ugg, man. You have to hit Ugg. You have to ready to receive Ugg's charge.
Yeah.
And then take the AOO, and hopefully knock him out in the 2 hits. Cause
Okay. Ashoka and
Reach
Zedd have come to
weapon, long
terms.
arms, lunge. 1, 2, 3.
Phineas is doing some retraining and learning of spells.